Unit 4, Topic 10, Part 2. We're only going to look at two questions, one more on the front side, question 4, and then one question on the back side. This puts it all together. So we have an equation, we have a table, and then we have a graph. But then we're going to do this in terms of the inverse. Visually, I think is the easiest idea. Remember your peso and dollar question at the top. All they did is they took the x and the y and they switched them, which means instead of writing 2, 6, I'm now going to write 6, 2. Instead of 0, 2, I'm going to write 2, 0. This one, as much as I switch it, just doesn't change. And if I put those points on a graph, remember x, y, I'm always going right or left, and then I'm going up or down. So the first one says negative 2, negative 2. It's the same point. 2 over to the right, up none. Over to the right 6, and up 2. And if I connect those dots, what I've done is I've created an inverse graph over the inverse line, which happens to be called y equals x. So that's when your slope is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. That is what the inverse is. Because you're switching the x and y, you have flipped the line over that. So imagine folding it on that spot. That line will then fold on top of itself. So visually, I think that goes well. Equation, there's a few questions on the back. What you're doing is the same idea. You're switching where the location of the x and the y are. But they always want the y to be written by itself. So once I've changed the letters, I now need to get the y by itself, which happens to be a two-step equation. Again, always add, subtract, and then always multiply and divide. So to get y by itself, I got to get rid of this 2 and this 2. I'm first going to get rid of what's being added by 2, so I'm going to minus to both sides. And that's gone. I still have a 2y, and I now have x minus 2. The last step is to divide everything by the number 2. What you do to one, you have to do to them all when multiplication and division happen. So 2 divided by 2 is gone. The y is now by itself. And what's over here? I have an x over 2, and 2 divided by 2 is really the number 1. It's written backwards, but it's okay for what you need to see. As you flip your paper over, the other question I want to look at is the very first question. The very first question gives us two types of problems, and I'm going to do one of each of them. If it ever says g of a number, again, the number inside, in this case, is x. So they want you to replace the x with the number 2. So to get this answer, I'm going to write 5 plus 2, and now x is really the number 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 plus 4 is, I know you know. The harder question is when it says g inverse. Well, that means instead of putting this in for x, what letter are you going to put it in for? You're right. It's the answer. It's the other side. So this equation would be 9 equals 5 plus 2x. You're back to a two-step equation. This one you have to solve. So minus 5, and then divide by 2 to both sides, and 4 divided by 2, I will give you that answer, is 2. Good luck on the rest of the worksheet.